What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope that everybody had a splendid, I'm going to use a new word, splendid week. I definitely did. Very interesting. Got to take a little time off and got a little rest, so that's cool. But again, I hope everybody had a great week. Tonight we have Miss Sharae Stephen. She's an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, the owner of Plush Thriftique. And when I came across her page and her movement, I was instantly intrigued and interested to know, the bells and whistles and the bones of the situation. And so I had to reach out to her. But I will not steal her thunder. For those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Stephen and her movement, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and just give a little background of who she is and some of the things that she has going on. So with that being said, Miss Stephen, it's on you.
Thank you so much for that, Michael. Thank you so much for reaching out for this opportunity. Like when I got the DM, I was like, "What? He want to talk to me?" But I do appreciate you reaching out and what you're doing. Your platform. Again, my name is Sharae Stephen. I was born in Pennsylvania, and my father was located here when I was 2. I am the oldest of 4 girls. Excuse me, the mother of 3 children. I am married now. We just renewed our vows in August for 20 years, and we've been together for 25 years. So I have a pretty nice, rounded out family here. As Michael did say, I am the owner of Plush Thriftique. This has been my baby for a while now. I have been thrifting pretty much all my life. Initially, through our circumstances, it was a requirement. At that time, I hated it because, I'm like, why are you at a thrift store? And, you want to feel cool and popular when you're young. But as I've grown and can appreciate, the struggle and also the beauty in the struggle, my business kind of bloomed from that. And I've always been into clothes and fashion. And my business does cater to women who are more curvy. So the curvy queens, I kind of pick and curate for them. I do carry all sizes, but because I am someone who my weight fluctuates, I know the struggle of, trying to find clothes and not want to pay a lot for them. So that's how Plush Thriftique came all together. There's been little steps throughout my life that have manifested where I am today.
That is an amazing story. Like I said, I was when I kind of came across your page and everything, I was very intrigued because let me go back a little bit because I definitely can relate to the whole thrifting thing. Uh, it almost tears me up. My mom and my aunts used to spend entire Saturdays, you know, garage sales and Goodwill and Salvation Army and you name it, you name it, they did it. And they would drag us kids along with them. Sometimes in the dead of summer. I mean, dead of summer.
Right.
So I definitely can relate to that movement. But a few times I got some good toys out of the deal, so I guess I can't complain for that. But I definitely can relate.
Yeah, you could definitely find some gems. So I think I've acquired an eye, over time. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an art. There's definitely an art to it, and you don't really hear nowadays. You don't really hear about people actually, running around on the weekends or whenever, garage selling and thrifting like that. You very rarely ever, you very rarely ever hear that. It's become kind of a lost art, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of became taboo because, some people may have a negative connotation about it. You're dirty, you're poor. And, so that's kind of what my mission and my brand is to change the narrative. I can go to a retail store and buy something, but I choose not to. Why do it if I don't have to? And so I feel like, especially where we are in this day and age, it's best to be figuring out ways to, still have the lifestyle that you want, but doing it affordably. So
Right.
that's where
Absolutely.
I come
Absolutely.
in.
So what makes Plush Thriftique different than say your average Goodwill store or you know Salvation Army or whatever? Like what makes Plush Thriftique different?
The difference is because I think in big box thrift stores, they're just putting in anything, to try to make a profit. I really care about the pieces, and my pieces are affectionately called plush pieces. So if you buy from me, you're picking up a nice plush piece, but I really care about the product that I put out. I wash my, items, I'm steaming my things, no tears, no holes, no smells. So it is going to be a different experience of what people may be used to in thrift stores. When you come in, it's going to smell nice. It's going to smell fresh. Sometimes they walk into a big box store and it kind of smells stale and,
Right.
things that turn people off. That's not what I want them to experience when they come here. So I think me caring about the product that I put out is what you get that's different here. And it's quality things that, are affordable. It's not just, cheap little pieces. I mean, there's some um, fast fashion pieces, excuse me, but for the most part, it's going to be name brand quality and things that you may not be able to afford right off the rack, but you come to Plush, you can.
Wow. So so Plush Thriftique is kind of a Bougetto type of establishment.
Exactly, it's exactly right. I like to call it a thrift boutique because it's not
Mhm.
exactly a thrift store. When you walk in, you are kind of like, oh wow, it does give more of a boutique type of feel. Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And what's the response been like? I mean, how long have you been in business, and what's the response been like over the years as you've gone forward? Like, has it has it has the perception in it's just dealing in regards to your personal situation,
Hmm.
has the perception of, like you said, the thrift store kind of change? Like when people come in, they're like, oh man, I'm coming, I never saw this type of thing before. Like
Hmm.
what's the perception, or what's the reception that you receive from the public?
Okay. So starting out, I actually knew you would ask that question. So I had to go back because, as you're going through, you just kind of go through. So you don't really, have a full recollection.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my first pop-up shop back in 2020 at my sister's house. And I've been collecting clothes forever. Don't ask my husband. That's another story. But I've been collecting clothes forever. And so I had my
Mm-hmm.
first pop-up in 2020. Then I opened a suite in Norfolk, Virginia. That was in 2022. And I had that location. My husband actually had a business right next door. He did detailing, so it worked. When they wait, send them over to me. So we kind of had a little situation going on. So I had the suite for about 8 months. I think I stopped that in September of 2022. I was just kind of doing live sales and pop-up shops and things in between then. And I have been in my storefront location. I opened November 23rd. So I opened about 2 months ago, but we were working on the building and try to get it together for like 6 months before we opened. So it was definitely a process, but yeah, now in this location, this setup that I have now, it's been about 2 months. The perception has been, like you said, it's that when people come in, they're like, oh wow, this is nice. Oh, you have a different style. Because I think that is another thing I like, unique, different type of pieces. So it won't be things when you go into a rainbow or a city trends. It's going to be different things. So I think people who are into fashion or having their own personal style can appreciate that. And so I feel like when I had the suite, people were coming in, it was kind of his customers because I didn't have like a front facing, business. So people had to know about it or something like that. but everybody that came in really enjoyed it. Then once the business closed, people were asking me, "Hey, where's your new location? When you gonna open?" So I was like, "Well, I might need to get this thing back going because I feel like the people appreciated and they needed what I had." So that's just how it's been. And so far, people that come in, they're leaving out with something. Like Denzel says, "Yeah, I'm leaving out of here with something." And almost everybody that comes, they're able to find something. And that's what I love about my store is it's not specific to one person. It's really a every woman store because I have my daughter's 25. She comes and get things. My nieces, they're in their teens. We have the women of wisdom, they coming for their church fits or whatever. So it's something for, everybody.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you are a full blown entrepreneur, like in this industry, do you really feel like being in the position that you are? Do you feel like you have to be competitive with some like you said, some of the stores? Do you even feel that type of pressure, or do you just do what you do?
I just do what I do. I've always kind of been in my own lane type of thing. So I really don't look at what other people do so much because that can be a distraction. Then you start comparing yourself and you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
I do take notice of the market, to see what's going on and, price compare and things of that nature. But as far as, how they operate, how I operate, it's different. Like we can have the same ingredients, but it's just going to be different. The sauce is just different.
Right. I was just about to ask you, like, do you pay attention to trends? Like when I walk into a plush thrifty, am I going to see a diverse fashion thing, or am I going to see a bunch of things that Sharae would wear? You know what I'm saying? Is this based off of what Sharae would wear, or is this based off of just a diverse palette of fashion?
Good question. That really is a good question because some of it is my my taste, of course, but it's also like you said, I pay attention. And so I really want to be in every woman's store. So I'm looking at what do women need, thinking of a woman who's 3, 4, 3, 4, 5X. What would they like to wear? You know what I'm saying? So my mind is always thinking of how somebody else in that situation will want to be presented and how they want to represent myself. So it is with my style, but always with, my client and customers in mind as well. And I think, when you like I said, when you come in, you can almost find something for everybody. It's some fast fashion, a lot of vintage, just unique little frilly sequins, just a lot of different stuff. So I think it's a wide range because some stuff I won't wear in here, but other people will.
Yeah. You mentioned the full figure curvy aspect of the store. In society, that's still, even now. Well, do you feel like, no, I'm not even going to make that statement. I'm going to ask you, do you feel like that genre of fashion is underserved, or is it served enough? Is it catered to enough? Especially now when it seems as though having a curvier figure is now more popular than it's ever been, with people getting the surgeries and different types of things. Like, do you think that the genre of fashion that you're talking about, do you feel like it's that the designers and the fashion houses and like yourself, do you do enough to cater to those women?
No, I would have to say no. I mean, there has been a shift in the market, with the last few years, diversity and inclusion and things of that nature. But like it's always going to be the plus size in the corner or the plus size with 3 racks or so I'm at the party but I can only have a little bit of juice and a few little snacks. I feel like that
Right.
something different here is that you can come here as a curvy woman and not feel like you're the minority in this situation.
Right.
And I
Right.
think most stores, that's how it is. That's what we are. And as far as a lot of the clothes, they think just because you have a larger body, you just want to wear, peplum lace and a whole bunch of flowers and things that cover you up. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the case, So I'm always thinking, because like I said, my weight has fluctuated. So I've been
Mhm.
down to an 8 during COVID. I made it up to an 18, 20. So and I still want to dress the body that I have. And
Mhm.
yeah, there's still a lot of work to do. And I'm hoping my little niche of the world can start creating some more space for us.
So are you also do you create clothes, or are you just kind of a distributor,
Yeah,
or
distributor reseller. No, I don't create. That's something that I do wish I knew how to do. I have my family member, my sisters and my mom sew. So, I also have that and I need something altered. I do have people who can, make little changes as necessary. But
Mhm.
no, I don't do custom work yet, but it's coming though. It's coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's absolutely. What have you learned about yourself in this whole process? So if you can name one thing, what's the most prevalent thing that you could say that you learned about yourself in this process that you might not have known prior to?
That's a good question that I've learned about myself. I think I'm courageous. I think the courage that I have, I kind of maybe underestimate myself sometimes. And throughout
Hmm.
this process,
Hmm.
you I mean, yeah, you can be fearful, but you can't stay in fear. And so I have to constantly push myself because I'm always doing everything scared. I open the door scared. I had, it's but I'm still doing it. And so
Right.
I think the courage that I'm pulling on, I know I'm getting it from God because I'm praying to him daily. But yeah, just to see how much courage I have because I feel like I walked through the valley into this. I didn't know
Right.
what to do. We built it, my husband and my son putting down floors and shelves, so it really was all hands on deck type of situation. And there were a lot of challenges in the process, but just being able to keep, pushing through it, I'm very proud of myself in that because I wanted to give up many, many, many days, but I feel like I can't. I know there's purpose attached to what I'm doing, and so giving up is not an option.
Mm. So what I hear you saying is that it's at points it challenged your perspective on
Yeah.
life. You
Oh
know.
yeah. Yes. Yes. Because there was at some point when I'm like, you know what, I can't figure it out. It's too hard. I ain't gonna worry about it. This must not be my time. You come up with all of these things as to why, but it's like when you really want to get to the finish line, you gotta crawl through the mud. You have to jump over the high wall. It's like you can't let those barriers, prevent you from continuing to move forward. So I feel like my continual push, yeah, that's something that I definitely learned.
Absolutely. Now you mentioned your family really kind of put their hands to the plow as well. Um, when we talk about perspective, you know what I'm saying? When I heard you say that, I was thinking to myself that probably brought you guys closer together, kind of, indirectly kind of brought you guys closer together as well.
It did. It did because I think, like I said, with all hands on deck and everybody putting in pieces together, and then we can all step back and look at the final product. It's like,
Hmm.
wow, we did that. It's like, wow, mom, you did that. You know what I'm saying? And so there is a pride with in our circle just because we did that. You know what I mean? And so it does bring about self-satisfaction, reassurance in our abilities as a family. If we stick together, we can do whatever we want to do. And support is the amount of support that I received. I just thank God because that's been so important for me and my success is that, my village really does stand up for me, and I stand up for them. So that's something that helps me to keep moving also.
That is awesome. As I believe that every family should have at least one thing that they all contribute to.
Mhm.
Like I have a change jar, and I
Yes,
think
you
that,
do.
you know what I'm saying, and I think that, we all put our pennies, nickels, and dimes in it.
Hmm.
And you might look at it and say, "Oh, you just, it's a money thing," but no, it's more so um, a bonding thing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We all contribute to it. We all invest in it. So when it comes time to use it, we'll all use it together. Like, and I want to teach my children in particular about finding value in things that other people may not see as valuable, and then utilizing it for to do something great. So like for instance, and I don't mean to be, I'm sounding all preachy, but like I see people, I see people throw pennies on the ground, like whatever. I'm
Hmm.
the type of person, I pick it up. You know what I'm saying? I pick it up because there's value in it. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so I just, I stick it in a jar, and eventually it will, as enough things are contributed, it'll
Hmm.
create something that I can, that I can do something with.
Right. Yep. It all
But
comes together. Yeah.
yeah. So being being in business a relatively short time, there whatever business that you're in kind of there's a subculture for it. So like you're doing this, but there are other people maybe in your circle that might be doing it, or that you've come to know since you started doing it. Um, so I say like, what is the atmosphere like amongst people, that the store owners that are doing kind of the same thing that you do? Is it room for collaboration? Is it very competitive? Is it what is it like? Or do you feel like you're just kind of like in your own lane? Like there's, what is it like?
I'm kind of in my own lane, but I am always about collaboration also. And throughout my journey, I have met, quite a few other business owners who, we shop together. We've had sales together. We give tips and tricks. So I'm going to gravitate to the collaborators. There, of course, there are the ones that are going to be competitive and gatekeep. And if you're not doing how I'm doing it, or, and that's fine, sis, that's your approach. But that just means that that's not my village. I'm always looking for, my energy is always going to gravitate toward those who are going to take me further. So anybody who wants to collaborate and, support me, support you. I'm always about building, brick building um, with other people. So yeah, this it can be, because everybody wants to be the best, but depending on the personality and the people, I have found that majority of this community is very supportive of each other and wanting to see each other win because like you said, it is not something that's spoke about a lot, or it's
Mhm.
not a popular thing, mainstream per se. So the ones who do it for the love, we do it for the community.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, how do you how do you promote it? How do you advertise? Like what is your most effective advertising tool for, for your store and for your business?
Right now, I'm utilizing social media.
Mhm.
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I normally have some type of weekly sale or discount, so I'm posting on that a lot. I'm looking into boosting up my marketing because I'm only open on the weekends because my day job is human resources. So, and I'm working to find somebody since I am so new. I'm trying to set my foundation in the energy in the space, but I will be eventually, open 6, 7 days a week. But um, so right now it is really just, kind of word of mouth. people sharing on Facebook. Like I said, my family and friends, they're telling people, when they're wearing pieces, telling them where they got the pieces from. But yeah, I am looking to step my marketing up because, especially where I'm located, I'm kind of in the cut in the corner of the row, and so
Mhm.
that's on my list of things to do. But right now, it's social media and word of mouth.
Okay. That's amazing. You don't have to tell me this. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But where do you what's your main source of product? Where does that come from,
Where's it come from?
or is that something that you have to keep keep to yourself,
No,
because you don't want nobody
anybody
to?
if you follow me, you see how I do and how I source. So um
Okay.
a lot of it is donations. People donate. I have, like I said, I have a storage of things, and I've been doing this and collecting for a while. So my inventory, from people donating, me purchasing things, um, lots of different places. Like anywhere anybody wants to pour into me, I'm grateful for that. And like I said, I'm only going to use pieces that represent my brand. So, I
Mhm.
am kind of cautious about where I do receive things from and what I do receive, because I don't want to, like I said, put out anything that's not sanitary or clean or smelling right. So I feel like I'm really invested in the products, no matter where I get it from. I'm going to make sure that before you get it, it meets my standard. And then, of course, once you get your things home, as with anything, you should be washing or doing whatever according to your preferences as well. But yeah, the stuff comes from everywhere. A little bit of
Okay.
everywhere, like different sources, and I'm still working off of inventory that I've had, and that's why I'm trying to, push things out, because I have so much that I need to bring in.
Okay. What if you could have it your way tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
What would be your vision for Plush Thriftique at its peak? Like at its peak, what would you envision it being?
I would like several locations all throughout. I would like for it to be a niche type of thing that, for women who are of the plus community, who want to look good and save money, that there's a little store we can go to, no
Hmm.
matter where they are, and feel welcome and at home. So I would also like to have a lot of locations, the several locations just all around to offer, this benefit to more people. And
That's
then who
amazing.
knows from there, like I said, once I learn how to sew, which is on the menu, making custom pieces, and, eventually I'm going to shift, because I'm kind of doing a little bit now, into personal styling. So I want to get more into, individual styling and things like that, and let the stores run themselves.
I know that's right.
And put on fashion shows and different things like that is kind of where I want to put myself. But yeah, this is just my foundation right now.
That was something else I was going to ask you about. The whole fashion show aspect. That's something that I don't really see a lot here often anymore. The fashion show. Um, but you've already said that's something that you plan to utilize in the
Oh yeah,
future, huh?
it's coming soon. Plush presents the fashion show. Yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay. That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, I take my hat off to anybody who um takes the step to make their vision or their dream, a reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being an entrepreneur is not for the weak. You know what I mean? You have to be really have do you feel like because I heard you talking about promoting on social media and everything like that. Has it been a challenge for you creatively to be like, are you a naturally creative person, or has this process kind of forced you to like dig deeper as far as being creative when it comes to promotion and just every aspect of what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. For the most part, naturally, I am a creative. Like, I can just go into a room and see two things that go together, or like my mind clicks like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel, oh Lord, I lost my train. There are times when I think I just may get so overwhelmed. Like I said, I do have a day job and a family running the business where it's like I feel like I don't have the energy or the brain power to create, to make reels and to make content. Like making content is a job in itself. So,
Right.
there are moments when I have my little dry spells, but they don't last very long, especially when I'm in plush because it's kind of like my happy place. It gets
Mm.
everything kind of going, and so I'm able to get back on track. But yeah, there are times, and I think it's more of just being overloaded, where it's like my mind can't even put things together. But for the most part, yeah, I can just come up with it.
I understand. Oh, wow. Okay, so I had already asked you about what's something that you noticed in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um, in this process. I'm gonna kind of take that question a step further. Being a woman of color,
Mm-hmm.
um, just being in general, just generally speaking, being in business. What has that? Is that something that you're mindful of, or do you just consider yourself a business owner? Period.
Mm, a business owner, but a woman of color first, because when you see me, that's what you're going to see first.
Right.
When I meet somebody, you don't know I have a business. You see me as a woman of color. And
Hmm.
so that's also important for me, is because I want women who look like me to know that you can do it. And when I say I didn't come into this thing with any grants, loans, knowing what to do, how to do, it was just really a dollar and a dream. And
Right.
so, I really, a part of me doing this is because I want to be, a motivator. So women who look like me, women who feel like they can't do it, women who feel like they don't know what to do, like, no, sis, we can, we got this. We can do
And that's
that.
kind of where I was heading to, because not only are you a business owner, but you're actually an example for
Hmm.
anybody who aspires to do anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's
Um,
thing you said, not to cut you off, but I
but
think something that always travels with me in my heart is I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Like I said, there's 4 girls, so we have our own gang of kids. And one of my nieces, she just always telling me how proud she is, and she can't believe her aunt has a business, and and hearing those things, I'm just pursuing my dream, not even what I this is what I hope, but to actually hear and see the impact that it has,
Mhm.
on next up. That's big for me. So that's a lot of it for me, is being a motivator and an inspirator, for women who look like me and the young ones coming up too, because they're like, my aunt can do it, and they see me struggle. They've been in storage with me, like they know what it is, and to hear her being proud and wanting to help. She's my assistant manager, that makes the mission even more fulfilling.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in the fact that we all have a remnant of folks that are attached to us. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And the decisions that we make and the moves that we make determine can determine how far they go, or
Hmm.
even if they go. You know what
Right.
I mean? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
to hear to and what's even more interesting is that you don't always get to hear what people think of you
Right.
in
Yeah.
real time.
Exactly. Yeah. That's true.
So
True.
so it's definitely, that's definitely big,
Hmm.
that your nieces and your nephews are able to, to say, hey auntie, you're doing your thing, I see you. And
Yeah.
I it lets me know that I can do it too.
Hmm. Yeah. That's
So,
big. It's very big. Yeah. Like you
yeah.
said, when you have a purpose, it's really not for you. It's for you to put it out for other people. So that's
Hmm.
that's true.
That is amazing. um do you have a story since you started? Do you have a story that maybe you helped somebody, or maybe somebody, was touched by, being in your store, or something that just kind of warmed your heart, when you since you've been in business?
I feel, what has been a big deal for me. I think it was like my third week that I was open, and a customer came in and she said, "Yeah, I heard about you from one of our mutual friend, and she said I wanted to come and check you out before I stopped at Ross." And
Mm,
to me, that was a big deal.
right.
Because you could go anywhere, but for you to, take a moment out of your time to come check on me in my little, I call it my big small business. On
Mhm.
my big small business, to stop here first to spend your dollars and to pour into me, that, and I've heard it about 2 or 3 times that, they came here first. And so
Mm,
that has been very impactful for me. Is like, okay, the word is getting out, and people want to, give back and invest and see what's going on within our own community. So I think for me that was big.
so now that you are the face of an organization, of a store, you are in essence, the poster child for plush thriftique.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of forces you to be more out front. Um, what has that experience been like for you? Or are you already in a place where you welcome, or you're already in that space? Did it bring you into that space, or were you already in that space as far as being in the forefront? Because now you are the head of the spear. You're making the directions left to right, forward, up and down. What has that experience been like for you?
I definitely grew into this because I feel like I uh, delayed myself from this process because I wasn't sure. And I
Hmm.
let, being uncertain and fear and feeling like I wasn't good enough, or, what if I fail, and all of those things get in my head. And so it just kept, pushing my dream back further and further and further. And so now that I'm stepping into it, it's like, okay, you did your little baby steps, now you got to walk and you're here. And so it definitely is forcing me to be out more. Like, I don't mind videos and pictures and things, but like doing lives and having to talk to people and all of that stuff, I'm still like growing through that. But yeah, it's what it is. The part of the business. I have to be out there. I have to present myself. People, they have to know me to know the brand. And yeah, I'm getting out there more and more and more. But it definitely has pushed me to, because if I don't move, nothing happens. So
That's a fact.
yeah.
Yeah, because I know since I started doing this podcast, I tend to find that I'm able to um hold conversations better now.
Hmm.
Like when I'm generally, out and about, I can carry on conversations better.
Yeah.
It's like my mind is, I'm quicker,
Hmm.
and it's not something that I necessarily set out for. I guess it just kind of happened as I kind of grew into what this is.
Hmm.
And so I definitely feel you on that. What is the most common misconception that people have about you?
Um, let me think. I think I've heard it quite a few times that people may say I'm bougie. Um,
Mm,
but if you know me, I'm so far. I mean, I have my standards, but I'm not so high maintenance and high post that nobody can breathe my air. But
mm,
I'm relatable. I'm humble. I'm understanding. I'm not judgmental because I've been through so many things in my life, and people have been there for me. I've stood on the shoulders of so many women who look like me that have pushed me forward. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And so it's excuse me. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying again. I'm sorry. What was the question again? I lost it.
Um, like what's the most common misconception
Oh
that
yeah,
people?
yeah. That's what. Yeah, that I'm bougie, but I'm not. I'm so cool. I'm really down to earth. I'm cool people, but I think people just. I see no nonsense is another thing too. Like I'm very strict and by the book, but
Mm-hmm.
I play a lot. I play all day. Like if you know me, I play a lot. So I think that's that I'm bougie and I'm no nonsense or what people may read, but it's not me.
There's a scenario that I always that well I don't always, but I bring it up a lot, especially when people like yourself who kind of step out on faith to do these things. You have a group of people, and I was just wondering if this is something that you had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You have two groups of people on either side of you, and neither one of them are haters. Let me just stop by saying that they're not haters. They're people who genuinely care about you and want their version of the best for you, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
So you got one group of on one side that says, "Hey, Sharae, uh, I know some people who tried to do what you're doing now, and they really didn't do well. They lost a lot of money, they lost a lot of time, and it took a long time for them to get back on their feet. Maybe you want to try something else." Now, then on the other side, you got the people that are like, listen, you moving too slow. Where's your content at? Why you not, you should be up there with whoever. Your brand should be way further along than it is. So you got one group that's saying you're not doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the other group saying you're doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you've had to contend with over this process? Like people wanting their version of the best for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. People are gonna have their opinions, like you said, and it's their version. When you're on the outside of a situation, you may have a broad stroke of the facts, but you may not have all of the details. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to take that into consideration when people are giving you advice. Are they looking at things just from their overall outside perspective, or do you actually know the intricate details of what's going on and why this happened and how this happened to really make an informed decision? So I
Mm-hmm.
always take that into account with who I'm speaking with and who I'm listening to, how close they are to my real life information. But I take what I can use and throw out what I can't.
Mm.
I'm not gonna let either side stop me. I appreciate, people who are motivating me and hey girl, what's going on? I want to see this and do that. Like I love that. The people who may not feel that way. And I'm always open to, constructive criticism. So sometimes I could be doing something and it could be like, hey, that's not working. Well, maybe try this. Or so I can't just automatically shut them out when it's not what I feel like it should be, because sometimes it can be valid. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where using your discernment comes in, as you're talking to people. And I think you have to be cautious even with that on who you speak with about your dreams. But yeah, you really have to discern who is this
Mm-hmm.
person, how is their heart, and what are their intentions, and that can kind of help you narrow down
Right.
what they're saying needs to be taken or not.
Right.
So yeah, people gonna try
Who would you say? Right. Who would you say is your greatest influence currently?
as far as just period in life or with the fashion or business.
Which whoever you choose.
Um, my I know it sounds cliche, but God
Mm-hmm.
definitely. I really go to Him to help. influence my decision making, my steps, what I do and how I move. My husband has been an awesome support. Like, he was actually the one who found the location for me, and when we came here, I was kind of hemming and hawing, kind of operating in that tiny fear. And he was like, honey, just do it, just try it, and so him being there and pushing me and supporting me, that has been, I can't complain. That's been awesome for me, and my children and my family, their support and seeing what I'm doing and being involved. That's really my influences to keep going. And even when I don't feel like it, I have those things in my mind: God, my husband, my kids, my family, and can't stop.
That's amazing. That is amazing. There's a saying, and I hope I don't get it wrong, but it says something like if you think the bill for taking risks is high, wait till you get the bill for regret.
Yeah. Yep.
So like basically what it's saying is that we can't we can't get caught up in what might happen if we step out,
Mm-hmm.
because that regret,
Yeah.
man, for the things that you could have done but you didn't do, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean, and now you can't do,
Right.
is way high. um Going forward, we talked about how, your vision for the whole plush thriftique movement.
Mm-hmm.
um how does it feel to, and this might sound like a weird it's funny question, but how does it feel to have purpose? People, and let me kind of frame this for you. So many people, especially when they get to a certain age or whatever, purpose becomes more of a question for them,
Mm-hmm.
wondering, what should I be doing? Have I been doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Am I impacting? Am I having an impact? Am I leaving in some type of imprint? Whatever. So I'm asking you, like, as I see you under the plush thrift sign, and you got the whole movement going, and you seem so at peace and so happy with your choices. How does it feel to know your purpose? Does it help you? Does that help you even the more moving forward?
It does. It's like, I feel like it's a feather and a ton, because when you walk in your purpose, it's natural, it's light. But once you're walking, the requirements, the demands, is those type of things that can kind of make it like, But like I said, when I'm here, and I'm working 7 days a week now. I work at my job and then I come here on the weekends. So I'm moving 7 days a week. But when I'm here, no matter how tired I am, or, whatever the case is, like you said, it feels good. I don't feel like I'm doing work, or I'm going extra hard for somebody else. Like, it's easy. So, it's walking in your purpose. It feels good. It's something that feels easy to do, but the weight of the responsibility sometimes can be, challenging.
Mhm.
So it's like, you kind of that, I'm scared to fail, but I'm also scared to be great.
Mm, got you, got you, got you. I understand that.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, this is my final official question for you.
Okay.
Um, it's a question that I ask all my guests, and I just want you to take a moment and think about it and give me the most honest and transparent answer that you can give me.
Okay.
The question is this: what would have to happen in your life, if it has not happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically?
You know what? I feel like to me, success is internal. Because I feel like external things come and go. They can always be taken away. So I don't want to
Mhm.
judge, okay, if I have an eight, bedroom house, now I'm successful. Like I'm happy where I am, knowing that I can still get to where I want to go. So I feel like I'm successful right now. No, I
Right.
don't have, 1,000 square foot, space, and I don't have, 10 staff members, but I have a family that loves me. I have a roof over my head. I have, employment. I have my business. Like for me, I feel like finding the success and joy in the everyday is important for me, because if you're always looking ahead or looking for something else, you're missing out on what's right in front of you. So, building my best life today, that's been my mission. And I feel like as I've matured and I've went through a lot of things, I feel like I'm at a place where I successfully feel settled in, myself and my outlook. So I feel like where I'm at right now, even with things I don't have, flaws, all of that, I'm a successful because it's, my outlook on life.
Okay. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about um, walking in purpose, whether it be a business or whatever the case? What would be your what would be your advice to them? Like, what do you say to a person who may want to do something but is kind of apprehensive or fearful of what might take place or whatever? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that what you're feeling is valid. It's natural to be at the place where you are, stepping into something new. But I
Hmm.
would tell them that you have to take the step. You have to take the step. And I think for me, like I said, I had my first pop up back in 2000, but I think it was in 2018 that I wrote a list of names for my business before I even had a business. Then I think the
Hmm.
following year, I went to the post office and got, boxes and envelopes to mail things, but I hadn't put up anything to even show anybody to mail. So I think is once you start doing whatever little thing you can do that gets you closer to your purpose, it's going to
Hmm.
start picking up traction. So even if it is, just writing down, this is what I want to do, every little step that you can take, because it's going to eventually start picking up steam. And when you look, you're going to be like, oh, wow, I'm in it. So do what you can. Your feelings are valid, but it's not real. Push through it.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. Well, Miss Stephen, I want to thank you for coming on to the platform. I know that you could be doing a zillion other things, but you are here with us, and I truly appreciate that.
I appreciate
Um,
you.
if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, find out where your store is, and
Mhm.
or whatever, they want to collaborate with you on some level, how could they get in touch with you?
Well, definitely social media. Like I said, my Facebook page, Plush Thriftique, PLUSH Thriftique, THRIFTIQUE. It's actually a combination of words, plus size and luscious for plush. And this is a thrift boutique. So that's how we have
Okay.
Plush Thriftique.
Okay.
So you can DM me. I'm located on 533 East Little Creek Road, Suite C in Norfolk, Virginia. My hours are Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 5 right now. But more days will be coming soon. And, if I plan to do live sales out the stores. So I'll be going around, showing items people can buy them. So just, yeah, follow my page, my socials to stay up to date, to find out when I'm having sales and different things. Yeah, definitely in TikTok, I post a lot of my styling videos, and so if you need styling ideas or and things of that nature, maybe how to put together a particular piece, You can go there. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under Plush Thrift Tea.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I thank you again. I want to offer to you an open invitation to come back anytime.
Of
If
course.
there's something that you want to promote, if there's something new that that Plush Thriftique is doing,
The fashion
pop up
show.
fashion show, whatever the case, please feel free to come let us know and we'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
Um,
Thank you so much.
absolutely. And again, I want to take my hat off to you because I understand that it's not an easy thing to um, have a thing
You're right.
in your mind and put it out for people to decide whether they want to get behind it or not. I know that can be kind of a nerve-wracking thing, but
It is.
I take my hat off to you for that.
Thank you.
I definitely respect that.
And you keep doing what you're doing and sharing. This is your ministry, getting us out to the world, and I appreciate you. So many blessings and all that good stuff to you and your family. I'm very grateful and honored, for this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you.
All right.
So with that being said, Miss Stephen, I want to wish you a great night and an even better weekend. I wish you much blessings on everything that Plush Thriftique is doing and everything else that you have coming after that. The stuff that you
Okay.
hadn't even conjured in your mind yet. I wish you much blessings on that as well.
And what I'll do, anybody who comes this weekend and says, "Let's Take a Walk" podcast, you get $5 off your total order. How about that?
How about that? How about that? Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you so much, and you have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
There you go, guys. Another great interview with another great guest. I want to shout out Miss Sharae Stephen. Check out her her Plush Thriftique store in Little Creek in Norfolk. Saturdays and Sundays, 12 to 5. Google her. Google her. Send some algorithm her way. You know what I mean? But seriously though, as I've always encouraged you guys and myself, if there's something that you feel like God is leading you to do, if there's a vision or a purpose that you feel like God has placed within your belly, like if you dream about it, you think about it, this is the time to act on it. And I understand that sometimes we don't always have the resources at first, but you'll be surprised how when you take a step, God allows for people and situations to come into your path that will facilitate what you're trying to do. When people see that you're truly serious about what you're doing, it's not long after that people will start investing. People will start donating things to, things that things that are probably crazy expensive. People will give to you and say, "Hey, I see what you're doing, whatever." But these things can't take place until we take the step to do, what it is that we're supposed to do. So with that being said, if it's a song, if it's a script, if it's a degree or a job, if it's a detailing business, if it's, being whatever, step out. Because I firmly believe we all have people attached to us and they're depending on us to make those decisions, to step out on their faith, because in essence, some of their destiny is attached. Even people that we may never meet. They may have a conversation with somebody who knows us and they mention our name and it causes some type of chain reaction. And so with that being said, if you understand that, then you know how important it is to walk in purpose. A lot of times you may not know how people impact you. You may not know how people feel about you um, doing a certain thing, but don't let that deter you from your purpose. So with that being said, man, again, I encourage you to step out because as the saying goes, that it may be sound cliche, but for the things that your vision for your vision, God provides provision. And so with that understanding and that know in your knower that as you take a step, God will take two or three or four or five steps for you. So I encourage you, move forward, do your thing, because we need you. We definitely need you. Designers, writers, creatives, artists, whatever the case, we need you. Ministers, whatever, teachers, police, military, we need you. If that's where your leading is, then that's what you do. So, not to talk you out of death, but I'm gonna sign off. You guys have an amazing weekend, and let's take a walk.